I need to get back to my original mindset that these are magnets and the market doesn't like hanging out in this no man's land here. I called it World War I trench warfare, right? There's the Allies, there's the Germans. Nope. And we're heading higher. And just like the Wall Street Journal lays out here, folks, that this was a BTFD. This was a buy the freaking dip moment. I nailed that as this thing imploded. This was orderly, folks. There was no panic. It doesn't look pretty right here, but this was not panic selling. Everybody I talked to and my strategic mindset was what? This is a great opportunity to get into stocks. As the Wall Street Journal points out here, that better than expected, fresh signs of growth in the global economy and a better than expected corporate earnings season everybody reviewed the recent sell-off as an opportunity to buy more stocks at a lower price, right? This is a healthy correction, a healthy setback in the long run. If we'd had that wobble and then we'd seen fairly negative earnings numbers, you would have seen the slump continue. That's exactly what I said, folks. I said there's nothing fundamentally wrong with this market. Corporate earnings were disgusting, right? Thank you, Donald Trump, and tax relief. And they're only going to get better. Thank you for more money back in our paychecks, right? People going out and spending it. The GDP numbers are good. Inflation's ain't that super big of a deal. It's actually ticking up in what should be the right direction. If you open to page 1 in what looks like a great economy textbook 101, it's this economy. So of course this was going to be seen as a buying opportunity, well, at least from people that are smart. So anyway, like I said, inflation investors have meanwhile largely brushed aside the inflation jitters and record bets on low volatility that triggered this sell-off, right? This was a short volatility sell-off. Just like every pullback last year was political, this pullback this year was volatility, right? All the smart people were short volatility. Well, Hawaii and Harvard were short volatility, and they got obliterated. Couldn't happen to a nicer group of people there. Folks, being short volatility was a stupid trade. Well, it was a brilliant trade, Wiz, until when? Until it was a stupid trade. If you want to run in front of bulldozers and try and pick up, or steamrollers and try and pick up pennies, knock yourself out. You'll probably get a couple of them in your hands, and then you're going to get killed. I'd rather be on the steamroller, okay? So, as a matter of fact, I'm probably going to send out an urgent alert here in a little bit that's going to be getting short more volatility. As we head up through the 50-day moving average, we're probably, I told my members yesterday, that you can copy and paste this little area right here where the 50 days probably going to become a little bit of support, maybe a little bit of resistance support, and then the next leg will be higher. Again, we nailed all of this here at TGO, and I'm very, very happy with all of our recent trades. We had a great bear call spread on volatility for the week that made $2,000 in 4 days. We looked to close that yesterday. So this is good. This is really, really good stuff going on. And what do we also nail? JP Morgan bull put spread. The financials in the S&P 500 have risen 4.8%. When? This week. So as I told all my members, hey, even if this is a little bit of a inflation pullback, I don't believe it. It was a volatility pullback. But some of the folks struggling for a reason said, hey, interest rates going up, bonds, all that type of happy stuff. Guess what? That means financials will be printing money even more than they currently are. So we're long JP Morgan, we're long Morgan Stanley. We got a bull put spread as well on JP Morgan. And when I say long, I mean out to January of 2020. So we have some long call diagonals or synthetic stock in the financials, and those things are doing great. Love it. So the bullish mood returns as investors shrug off the big price swings. For many, the rout eased their concerns that valuations were getting too high. So if you thought a PE of, I don't know, fill in the blank, 20 upper teens was, now you're back in the mid to upper teens. Okay, great. Now the all clear sounded, get back into the pool. Interesting story here right here that the SEC rejects the sale of the Chicago Stock Exchange. I spent 4 years of my life right in this building. Actually, there's a gym right in here. I worked out right there in the gym, and the SIBO is right there, and the CBOT is over there. They said no. The SEC said no. I wonder why. This group included Chinese investors. I'm making a little bit of an assumption here that I think Donald Trump might be shooting across the bow a little bit of China to trying to get them to really, really, really sit on North Korea. That's a guess, but that's kind of a big deal, man. They've been talking about this for a while now, and the SEC just said no. So with the rising interest rates, here's what cracks me up is, those who can't are in the financial media, right? So them searching for a reason for the sell-off until somebody explained what the short vol trade was, and now all they can say is short vol trade. Should be a game every time they say that you should do a shot. So before that, they were saying, hey, interest rates are most likely going up. That's a good thing, folks. We've been in a near zero rate interest environment since Ben Bernanke and the Fed jumped in to save capitalism, which they shouldn't have. So getting back to normal interest rates should be a good thing. So when, not if, Jerome Powell starts dialing up the oven on the interest rates, as long as he has a pretty good press conference that says something like this, hey man, this country is near full employment. Yes, 4%, 4.1% is full employment. We cannot employ everybody. And you ready for this? A little bit of a hint. Not everybody wants to be employed. That's a talk for over a beer. But we're near full employment. GDP's cooking. Corporate earnings are looking great. You name the economic metric, we're looking pretty damn good. So if he can sit there and look us in the eye and say, we're cranking up interest rates a little bit because we don't want them, want this economy to overheat. That's bullish. Think about the 8-year financial Vietnam we wandered around in under Barack Hussein Obama. Obamacare crushing businesses, all the financial and just overall business regulation. It was awful. What an awful 8 years under that guy. So this is actually a good thing. Interest rates going up will be awesome for financials. Okay, I predicted this. I nailed a lot of things recently, guys. The election of Trump, the market rally. I said that this was going to be a BTFD, and I'm also going to tell you, and I've been saying this for about 2 months, that 2018 will be the year of the financials. Even for the Death Star Goldman Sachs, which I'm not a big lover of there. Now we move on to the battle of infrastructure, and Nancy Pelosi, of course, saying they look like crumbs. Speaking of Nancy Pelosi, she said the infrastructure plan looks puny. Well, they're in trouble, folks. Here's another prediction I'm going to make. They will not take back the House or the Senate in the midterms. Remember that the liberal media right now is trying to, again, brainwash you that you shouldn't go out and vote. But the midterm elections, the party in power usually loses seats. Ain't going to be this time. This lady and her party look like a bunch of jackasses in the State of the Union. Let's not stand and clap for veterans. Let's not stand and clap for Otto Warmbier's parents. The kid was brutally tortured and killed by North Koreans. But let's stand on the floor of the House and give an 8-hour speech for illegal immigrants. Why don't you guys all run on that, and you should be good to go. It's disgusting. So I think they're actually going to lose seats, and I think Nancy Pelosi is going to be booted. Like this headline says, I think she will be booted as the minority leader, and she will be the minority leader. About 2-3 months ago, they were predicting a 40-seat pickup, and she's going to take over as the majority leader. That is not going to happen. I don't care what MSNBC, CNBC, CNN, all those liberal medias tell you. That will not happen, folks. I speak to average Americans. I am an average American. We're furious at these type of people. It's awful. And don't even get me started on the whole gun control debate. The FBI was a little busy committing treason, right? They were having affairs. They were getting bullshit warrants based on bullshit evidence and spying on Americans. They were trying to interfere in our election, and then when they knew that the dude was going to win, they had insurance policies and created this whole Russia narrative bullshit. The only collusion that happened was between the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the Clinton campaign. Furious at this. And, oh, by the way, who was the director when this dude posted, hey, I'm going to be a school shooter? It was Jim Comey. So Jim Comey is a dirty cop. And he has a lot to answer for, and he has blood on his hands as well. If you can't track – so this is the same FBI that is hacking into things, eavesdropping on citizen everything. They said, hey, we saw the post online, and we couldn't figure out who posted it. Are you shitting me? They actually think we're this stupid, folks. They actually think that the average American is that dumb and will believe that. The deep state is real, ladies and gentlemen, and you're seeing it in action right here. They are doing a cover-your-ass moment. They missed this kid, and 17 kids, adults are dead, literally right down the street from me, and I'm furious about it. They knew about the Sarnev brothers. They knew about the San Bernardino couple. They knew about this dude. They've known about a lot of people that have been on the radar. They even knew about the Vegas dude. So they know a lot. Isn't it funny how after this shit happens, they come out and say, hey, we knew this dude was on our radar. then do something. Here's let me finish my weekly rant with this, guys. When I grew up in New Jersey, South Jersey, we used to drive up to Philadelphia to see my other family, my grandmother. We in the middle of nowhere of South Jersey, in the middle of the woods, there was a mental hospital. It was called Ancora State Hospital. You know what we used to do with kids like this that would go around saying I'm going to shoot up schools and had guns and post it? We locked them up until they weren't a threat. What happened about mass guns have been in homes in this country for over 2 centuries. For 200 plus years, guns have not been a problem. In the past 30 years, they've been a problem. You know why? We don't discipline kids. You know why? Because liberals think that a couch and medication is going to help people out. You know what? There are some kids or some adults that you can't help, and they're effing nuts. Lock them up. Don't give them medicine. Don't put them on a couch and talk to them about their feelings. That kid needed to be locked up. Period. Why don't we try some people control instead of gun control? When there's a DUI, who do we blame, folks? We blame the driver. When there's a suicide bomber, who do we blame? The bomber. When there's a mass shooting, who do we blame? The gun. Well, I don't blame the gun because I'm not an idiot. You're an idiot if you blame the gun. The gun is an inanimate object. When guns get up and start walking around this country, folks, I'll tackle mine and I'll turn it in. It's not happening. Why don't we get some people and mental health control? I'm sick of people's feelings and bullshit and touchy-feely stuff that started about 30 years ago, and it's resulted in this. Children pray to God, God, why do you let people shoot up schools? God's answer, I'm not allowed in school anymore. That's it. Have a great rest of your weekend. Hug your kids a little bit more, guys. And I think I'm heading over to Tampa with my son Jack and my daughter Keely for some hockey this weekend. Okay, so hug your kids a little bit tighter. Don't let anybody teach you or preach you that this is about gun control. Those same type of people that have no problems with coming after your guns to protect our children are the same type of people who kill our most innocent children. Don't get me started. I'll see you Monday.